The fastest way to stay broke is trying to look rich. Say that again in your head, because the thing you think is helping you, the car, the shoes, the upgrades, might be the exact thing keeping you poor. And by the end of this video, you're gonna see it everywhere. Meet Alex, 26, marketing job, $58,000 a year. Alex isn't lazy. Alex isn't bad with money on purpose. Alex just wants one thing: to look like he's winning. New phone every year, a car he doesn't own, just leases, a closet that looks better than his bank account. If you passed Alex on the street, you'd assume he's doing great. Here's what you wouldn't see: $340 in his checking account, 2 maxed out credit cards, $0 invested. Alex isn't broke because he doesn't make enough money. Alex is broke because he's spending his whole paycheck convincing strangers he isn't. And here's the part that should worry you. Alex isn't rare. Alex is the default setting for an entire generation. Here's what Alex still doesn't realize. Every single dollar he spends trying to look successful is a dollar that can never do the one thing money is actually good at: growing. Think of it like 2 roads. One road leads to looking rich today. The other road leads to being rich later. They start at the exact same fork, same paycheck, same $600 left over at the end of the month. But you can only walk down one road with that $600, not both. Alex has been walking down the same road since he was 22. He just doesn't know where it ends yet. We've been trained to believe something dangerous: that wealth is something you can see, that if someone is rich, you'll know. The watch, the car, the vacation photos. But here's where things get interesting. Visible wealth and actual wealth are almost never the same thing. In fact, they're usually opposites. There's a name for what Alex is doing. Economists call it status spending. Paying money specifically so other people notice you, not because the thing improves your life. The catch? Status is one of the most expensive things you can buy, and it depreciates the second someone stops looking. Wealth doesn't need anyone to be watching. That's exactly why nobody sees it. But here's where almost everyone gets fooled, including researchers who set out to study millionaires. Back in the 1990s, 2 researchers, Thomas Stanley and William Danko, wrote a book called The Millionaire Next Door. They went looking for America's rich. They expected sports cars, mansions, tailored suits. Instead, they found something almost boring. Most millionaires drove used cars, lived in normal houses on normal streets, wore regular clothes you'd forget by lunch. Meanwhile, the flashiest people they studied, the ones in the newest trucks, the biggest houses, were often drowning in debt, one missed paycheck from collapse. Picture 2 people standing next to each other at a gas station. One drives a 10-year-old Honda and has $500,000 quietly invested. One drives a $90,000 truck and has less than $1,000 to his name. You cannot tell them apart. That's not an accident. That's the entire trap. Now, let's put a real number on Alex's story, because this is where things get expensive. Alex spends about $600 a month trying to look successful. Clothes he doesn't need, a car payment bigger than it should be, upgrades he feels pressured into. $600 sounds harmless. It sounds like a normal life. But here's what most people don't realize. If Alex invested that same $600 every month instead into something as simple as an index fund, using nothing but average market history, In 30 years, that money grows past $1.1 million. Imagine deleting $1 million, one purchase at a time. Let that sit for a second. The difference between Alex retiring a millionaire and Alex still stressed about rent at 56 isn't his salary. It's $600 a month and 30 years of not touching it. That's the real price tag on looking rich. It was never $600. It was the version of Alex's future that $600 quietly deletes every single month without him noticing. So why does Alex keep making this trade, even when the math is this brutal? Because his brain isn't doing 30-year math. It's doing right now math. New shoes today feel real. A bigger bank account in 2054 feels like fiction. Psychologists have a name for this. It's called present bias. We overvalue rewards we can feel today, and we underrate rewards we can't feel yet, even when the future reward is massively bigger. But there's something even older working against Alex. For most of human history, visible resources actually meant survival. Furs, land, cattle. If you had them, people trusted you, followed you, chose you. Alex's brain still runs on that ancient software. A financed truck still feels like proof he can provide, even though the bank technically owns it. We're not chasing wealth. We're chasing a signal that used to mean wealth thousands of years ago, before anyone invented a payment plan. But the biggest mistake is still coming. And it's not even Alex's fault entirely. Alex isn't just comparing himself to millionaires. He's comparing himself to his coworkers, his friends, strangers on his phone at 11 p.m. This is called social comparison. We don't measure our success by numbers. We measure it by the people standing closest to us. Here's the twist nobody tells you. His coworker with the nice car also broke. His friend with the vacation photos also in debt. The influencer with the luxury lifestyle post sometimes renting the watch just for the picture. Alex is comparing his real, invisible finances to everyone else's fake, visible spending. It's a competition where almost nobody is actually winning, and everyone's too embarrassed to say so. What happened next is the part that changes everything, because there's a small, quiet group of people who figured this out early. Financial writers gave it a name: stealth wealth. Looking less successful than you actually are on purpose. Not because they're cheap, because they know something Alex hasn't learned yet. Every dollar not spent on image becomes a dollar working in the background, invisible, compounding, growing while you sleep. Picture two versions of the same person, 5 years apart. Version A upgrades everything. New car every 3 years. Fresh wardrobe every season. Looks incredible in every photo. Owns almost nothing underneath it. Version B drives the same car for a decade. Buys clothes built to last. Looks, on the surface, a little less impressive. But version B has been quietly feeding the difference into investments the entire time. 5 years later, version A is still starting from zero. Version B has options, cash flow, freedom. Nobody at the coffee shop could ever tell them apart. That was always the point. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds miserable. Am I not supposed to enjoy anything? No, and this matters. This isn't about never spending money. It's about knowing who you're spending it for. Buying a nice dinner because you love it? That's enjoyment. Buying a car you can't afford because you're scared of what people will think if you don't? That's insurance against judgment that exists only in your head. Before every purchase, ask one honest question. Am I buying this for me? Or am I buying this for an audience that... Let's go back to Alex one final time. Because right now, he's standing at a fork he can't fully see yet. Down one road is Alex, who keeps chasing the image. New car every few years, wardrobe always refreshed. He looks, from the outside, like he's already made it. At 56, that Alex is still working, still one bad month away from panic, still somehow broke, just in nicer clothes than he was at 26. Down the other road is Alex, who quietly redirects $450 a month. He keeps his car 2 years longer, buys clothes to wear, not to prove something. He barely thinks about the money moving into his investments each month. 10 years in, that quiet decision is worth roughly $85,000. 20 years in, over $250,000. Nobody complimented that Alex on his car during those years. Nobody liked to post about his savings account. It was invisible the entire time. But invisible is exactly what wealth looks like while it's being built. Go back to that gas station from earlier. The Honda and the $90,000 truck parked side by side. You still can't tell which driver is actually wealthy. You never could. Nobody can, from the outside. But now you know the question that actually matters. Not, what does this person own? Ask instead, what does this person owe? Alex is still deciding which road he's on. Maybe, watching this, you already know which one you've been walking. Picture Alex at 56, one more time. Not the version chasing the image, the other one. He's sitting on a porch that's paid off. No debt. No stress about the next paycheck. Just quiet mornings, coffee, and the freedom to say no to a job he doesn't need anymore. Nobody clapped for him along the way. Nobody saw the $450 leave his account every month for 30 years. But he's the one who actually made it. Looking rich impresses strangers. Being rich buys freedom. You can only choose one. If this changed the way you think about money, subscribe for more.